I'm very happy with where we are. We have very strong political strength and a political apparatus in the early states. We're leading here in South Carolina. I'm very happy and comfortable where we are.
Well, he's trailing in national polls and has been for some time as John McCain, but look at these numbers from the American Research Group. These are just out, and they are about some of the early states. This is Iowa, the first number. McCain, 26-19 over Giuliani, and even further ahead, as you can see, of Mitt Romney. In New Hampshire, we have a similar situation. McCain at 29, Romney closer. He's, of course, from next door, Massachusetts, and ahead of Giuliani there as well. And in South Carolina, McCain appears to have an even larger lead and a fewer number of undecided voters. So, based on that situation, it's a little better for John McCain. Indeed, a lot better than it looks in the national situation. Some thoughts on all this now from Mort Kondracki, executive editor of Roll Call, Mara Lassen, national political correspondent of National Public Radio, and the syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer, Fox News contributors all. So what accounts for the discrepancy, and which numbers matter most?
Well, since it's a year and a half to go and we're all speculating wildly on these rather small changes in polls, allow me to speculate wildly on the cause of this. I believe these polls. I think it is true.
I think you're speculating quite intelligently.
Well,
I insist that you do.
I've just begun to speculate, so wait how wild I can get here. I would assume that the national polls reflect what a population that is less involved in the issues and in the candidates than those in the primary states, Iowa, South Carolina, New Hampshire, who watch the candidates, who've been exposed to a lot more information. If you've been exposed to less information, as you have in national polls, you'd be less aware, perhaps, of Giuliani's positions on social issues, which are quite at variance with most conservatives on abortion, gay rights, gun control, etc. The other part of it is, I think that the national media, which were in love with McCain 8 years ago when he took after the favorite targets of the national media, social conservatives and Southern governors who wear cowboy boots, today has soured on McCain, and the national coverage of McCain has a sense of weariness and disappointment. So if you're following the campaign entirely on the national media, you're less likely to support him. If you're more involved as you are in the primary states, you'd be more aware of what his positions are, Giuliani's positions are, and you might be less willing to support him and less exposed to the disdain and the disappointment that you find in national media with John McCain. So that's pretty wild speculation.
Pretty good, pretty good. Mark, can you top that wild speculation?
Yeah, I will try my best. First of all, in the past we used to always say in a primary, who cares about the national polls? We only care about Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. This year it's a little different. We're going to have something pretty close to a national primary. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't mean that Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina don't give somebody, a winner out of that, a real slingshot boost, but I think the national polls are something that we can look at now. I would like to see other polls from the early states to see if McCain's position is changing. South Carolina is consistent. He's been ahead there for some time in a number of different polls. But when you look at the Real Clear Politics average, which is something that's useful to do.
We have a graphic of that? Real Clear Politics average. It's yeah, there it is.
Now that is something.
At that now.
That's what they do, which is interesting because they average everything, is you think it would be a corrective for a poll that's an outlier, and they still have Giuliani ahead.
13 points.
Yeah, by quite a bit. Although he has come down. I think McCain has seen a little bit of a rise. He's trying to give his campaign a second chance. I think the big question for McCain is going to be at the end of this quarter, will he have raised enough money?
Really?
Yes, I really do.
You think he would be in a position where he would not be able to go forward because he doesn't?
No. I don't think he could not go forward. But the campaign set a bar very high for him. They said, we're going to do great this quarter. We're going to raise $20 million. Let's see how close he gets to that.
Well, now, Real Clear Politics does keep an average of other polls in Iowa and New Hampshire, and McCain is doing well there. This is consistent with other findings.
New ARG poll.
Yeah, the new ARG poll is. It doesn't keep a poll in South Carolina, but
South Carolina,
we know that he's been ahead.
Yeah.
So I think that Charles's speculation is probably right. I mean, these people do pay close attention in New Hampshire, Iowa, and
of course they get to
South
see the
Carolina.
candidates.
Yeah, they're there all the time, and they're hearing what they're saying, and there's a lot of back and forth. And in South Carolina, I just wonder if there isn't a little remorse as well. I mean, South Carolina was the place where John McCain was put through the ringer by allies of George Bush, whether it was the Bush campaign or not, accused of all kinds of nefarious things. And in retrospect, I wonder if I'd love to see a poll. If you had to do it over again, if the 2000 primaries were happening today, would you vote for George Bush or John McCain? I'd love to see that poll.
For Mort, there's always a certain appeal in the idea of the politics of guilt.
Yes.